In recent weeks, you will have heard or read about two seemingly unrelated issues. In New York, Mayor Bill de Blasio has signaled his desire to scrap the highly competitive exams for 8 New York public schools. In Boston, there were new revelations from a lawsuit against Harvard University that alleges the university systematically discriminates against Asian Americans in its admissions process. These come from very different directions, but they represent an assault on one of the foundations of modern society, the meritocracy. The meritocracy is now an idea under siege. On the right, many of Donald Trump's supporters see it as a code word for an out-of-touch establishment that looks down on ordinary, hardworking Americans. Here in Britain, Theresa May's call for a more meritocratic society was assailed on the left by those who saw it as a concept that breeds elitism and inequality. Until the 1950s, America was run in every corridor of power by white Anglo-Saxon Protestant men. That WASP aristocracy was slowly but surely dislodged through the rise of merit-based systems, largely in education, that opened up elite institutions to people of talent no matter their background. So let's first talk about the New York challenge to meritocracy. Its 8 selective schools are a wonder of the modern public education system. Admission to them is based on a single test. Having wealth or connections will not get you in, nor will your race or athletic prowess. These schools have an astonishing track record of moving smart kids out of poverty and into the middle class. But it turns out that blacks and Hispanics comprise just 10% of these schools, compared with the 68% of the city's student body as a whole. The tests are thus said to favor one group, Asians, who make up more than 60% of the students. But to complain that the schools have a diversity problem, as the mayor does, is wrong and wrong-headed. First, these schools are incredibly diverse. The category called Asians actually encompasses people that trace their ancestry to China, South Korea, Vietnam, India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, and the Philippines, among others, wildly different countries and cultures. Perhaps more important, the test is designed to find talented students, not to raise up specific minorities, which the rest of the vast New York school system works hard to do. The challenge from Boston to the meritocracy is different, arguing that elite institutions pretend to be meritocratic, but don't actually practice what they preach. And several Princeton University studies point directly and persuasively to the fact that many highly selective academic institutions are systematically biased against Asian Americans. The lawsuit alleges Harvard uses soft criteria like personality to downgrade Asian applicants with high test scores and grades and considerable extracurricular activities. This harkens back to methods that admissions committees began using in the 1920s, then to deny qualified Jewish applicants. Harvard denies the allegations. Now, let's be clear, tests are not perfect and they should be supplemented by other factors, but we should all be wary of a system that returns the selection process to one in which people make highly subjective judgments, as was the case in the days of the old boy networks. Historically, that becomes a process that smuggles in prejudice and preferences based on class, race, religion, politics, and money. It was also a process that did not find or promote genuine talent, nor did it create much social mobility. The meritocracy is under assault, but those who attack it should ask themselves, what would you replace it with? As Churchill said of democracy, a meritocracy is the worst system to select a society's elites, except for all the others.